Texas Tech University's men's basketball team took the nation by storm this year, winning its way to the Final Four and ultimately the national championship game. Two of the players, Andrew Sorrells and Avery Benson, were simultaneously attending school here at the Rawls College of Business. In their recent interview with Associate Dean Dennis Arnett, they reflected on the season and shared a bit about their lives beyond the courts.
Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Yep, thank you for having me.
Glad to be here.
How has it been this year playing with such an incredible team and traveling around the country together?
No, it's been awesome. I think this year's, I've been here, this is my 4th year, and this year is probably some of the best teammates I've ever had. Not to say that my previous teammates weren't good, but they've all been great, but our team chemistry this year, as far as getting along with each other, hanging out outside of practice and required events, it's kind of what made us close. And obviously we had one of the best seasons in Tech history, or the best season getting to the national championship, so it's been awesome, kind of the brotherhood of having each other's backs.
Yeah, I have to agree. With the new guys coming in, just felt like they were part of the family right off the bat. Not saying we didn't have our downs, but for sure, had a great season and had a great group of guys to do it with.
So what's it like when you're traveling?
It's, solid, a few days ahead of time that we know what time we're leaving, we know when we arrive, when we're going to eat, and like our itinerary is just 100%, there. We know what's going on, so we know like what times we'll have to do our homework and what times we can, take a nap or whatever after you get all your schoolwork done, of course. But
it's pretty busy schedule when you're traveling. Yeah. But while you're traveling, you still have to stay on top of your academics. You still have assignments that are due, but you just have to communicate with your professors, or if you're in group projects, which a lot of times I am, being over here at the Rawls, there's a lot of group projects that are based over here at this college, and you got to communicate with them as far as when assignments are due.
Here's a question from one of our Instagram followers. What was your favorite grab-and-go snack to get through a busy morning or an afternoon of classes?
My busy class schedules on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'll have an extra chicken biscuit in my backpack, and I'll just, in between classes, I'll eat that. Or sometimes it's an Uncrustable. I really like Uncrustable, so that's my go-to.
Grab-and-go snack. Oh, definitely. The double chocolate chip muffin.
Oh yeah, that's
and
good.
Chocolate milk.
Okay. Okay. Another one of our Instagram followers wants to know, do you have any favorite professors, and if so, can you tell us a little bit about them?
Well, I have a lot, probably too many to name, because I've been here 4 years, but Professor Delgadillo teaches ISQS class. Everybody loves him. I love him. He even has a Twitter account to where he makes everyone follow him because he tweets out hints for the test, so he has all these followers on Twitter. But him, I go with Professor Harper, he teaches a marketing class, Professor Rodriguez, business law. There's a lot of good ones that I have. They're all great, and a lot of them I like them just because they have a good personality, they're funny, but they're good teachers, and that's what you want out of a professor. You want to learn the material.
yeah, I'd have to agree with him on Delgadillo. I've only had him in ISQS 1 so far, but I enjoy the class. He's actually a pretty funny guy.
No, he is.
If you have a sense of humor, you'll enjoy Delgadillo. But my financial accounting teacher, Mr. Maestro, he was, real, just down to earth, relaxed. He was easy to get along with. He got a connection with every one of his students just because, he's almost like one of us. He doesn't think he's better or anything than us, but he's very genuine, and he's a very good teacher too. So I enjoyed him a lot this year.
So what was it like, facing the national media and all that kind of attention?
Oh, well, for the media, so, us being walk-ons, we always don't get the attention from the media that, maybe a Jarrett Culver would get. But, so in the first couple rounds of the NCAA tournament, the media will come in every day. They have an hour of media, of open locker room. So the media comes in, they ask players questions. And that's normally kind of when Avery and I will pull out our iPad or our book and just start kind of relaxing. Well, we get to the Final Four, and it's open hour locker room. We're answering questions the whole time. There's the Wall Street Journal, USA Today. They're all up there. Every media outlet's up there asking us questions, and we're in the middle of it for the entire hour. So once you get to the Final Four, they want to hear from everybody. So it was a pretty cool experience.
It was really fun to, answer all the questions, the same questions that Jarrett was answering in the Final Four, and then sitting there and watching everybody else enjoy it. I got to watch Drew do interviews. I could tell he was having a blast. So that's what made it. That's what made it. Partly worth it. It was like seeing that everybody was now involved in that kind of process, and not just the select few.
After the final game was over and you came back to Lubbock and came back to school, kind of describe that experience when you got back here.
We got back and it was a very painful loss. I mean, we got all the way to the final Monday and came up short. And at the time, it was just like, I kind of want to go home. Like, we didn't see the fact that we should have been proud of what we done. Especially for me, I was, just hurting.
I mean, obviously we're sad. We're just fresh off that loss to Virginia in the national championship. You're just so close. When we landed, so we're traveling back here with the police escort back to the arena, and every car that saw our bus kind of just stopped, pulled over to the side of the road, and stuck their arm out with the guns up, and that was pretty cool. But then getting back as far as you try to get squared away on your academics. Obviously, we missed well over a month of school, so that was kind of stressful.
Do you think playing athletics enhances how you do in school?
I think it does. I think athletics, I think most athletes would agree that it teaches self-discipline and time management. I mean, you just can't help but be disciplined and efficient with your time. Otherwise, there's no way to balance both of those if you don't have good time management skills.
Another Instagram follower wants to know whether or not you have any hobbies.
Golf's probably my biggest hobby outside of basketball.
I'm a terrible golfer, so I don't go Drew, but I love to hunt and fish. Weather's getting to the point where I can go outside and take a rod and reel, to McKenzie Park and just fish and basically waste some time, enjoy the outdoors.
Well, that concludes our interview. Thank you, gentlemen, for being with us today.
Oh, yeah, thanks for having us. It was awesome.
Thank you for having us.
Andrew has now graduated and is leaving to pursue an MBA, while Avery plans to continue his studies at Rawls College. We wish them all the best.